Well, this is my first not soloing on this character. Well, maybe. I can't remember. Maybe I soloed in Kara Island, or I duoed in Kara Island for like a level or something like that when I was in my teens. But I'm duoing with another enchanter right now. And we each have charmed the highest level thing pretty much that we could find in Dreadlands, and gave it some staves that proc heals, haste them as much as possible. And I was out here soloing actually before Charmcity came out here, and the XP was not bad, not stellar I don't think, but I was still getting the hang of things. You know, even letting my pet eat experience and then letting him get beat down, and slowly by the end of his life I would break charm, dazzle him, and over the course of 96 seconds he would sit here regenning 5% a second. Then I'd charm him back up after toshing him again, make sure haste is up, repeat. Even with my pet eating a bunch of the XP, this was still pretty good. And now with a second enchanter here, Charmcity's a little lower than I am, so he has a drolvarg rager instead of a ravishing drolvarg. But he brought the dead with staves, which are awesome, more DPS, and they help keep the pets healed up a little bit better. It's pretty ridiculous. We're not splitting XP with the pets, although we are splitting XP with each other, but we have like almost twice as much DPS. Stuff pretty much just melts. Other than right at the beginning when he was trying to charm a ravishing also, and we had some close calls. I was under 20% for a second or two before I got another rune up and started managing, because I forgot that I had memmed Dazzle over here in the spot where I normally have a stun, because I needed Dazzle up on a regular basis to be able to heal my pet up. So pet broke and started coming at me, and I tried to hit 4 to interrupt him, and he quads for 116 and procs a 45-point life tap, and he has 60% haste. So I was going down pretty quick, and I channeled a Mez, which I misclicked, fortunately, or else it would have been the end of me. I won't do a long video. I just figured, since this is an interesting tactic that Brainfreeze told me about to do solo, and now we're doing it duo, which is pretty awesome also. It's worth videoing. I've been online for, I spent about 10 minutes healing up from my previous time out here. But so in an hour and 20 minutes I've made almost half of 49. Most of that was when I was solo, but it's working really well in duo with this crazy amount of pet damage. Unfortunately, we're not quite prepared for this. Charmcity doesn't have a Sow Pot or J-Boots, and I only have like 6 charges in mine, so we're we're going to be out here for a little while anyways. I'm doing all the pulling since I have a Sow, and I'm a little higher level, so I've got the higher level pet. And I think he's not putting full haste on his. He's doing the long duration augmentation, which is like 25% haste or something. And I'm putting swift like the wind, which is 60% haste on mine. But it's going pretty good. XP is probably, it was faster certainly than the guards in Grob where I was, or if I went back to Lake Philomena. So pretty excited to be getting some faster XP. This is a faster pace than I care for. I enjoy little flurries of activity, charming something to kill something, and then, having some downtime after a couple fights when I need to rest up and med up. But it's pretty good for a change of pace. I feel like a bard, running around all over the place, pulling. Not a lot more, really, I don't think, to say than what I said already about what we're doing. It works well. It's a little sketchy sometimes because you can get overwhelmed if you're not careful about where pathers are or where your letting your pet stand around while you're trying to pull and stuff like that. But as long as you're a little careful, like really with Sow, you've got a lot of wiggle room. Unless you're fighting the widows, who will. Oops. There you go. My pet wasn't guarding. That's the kind of thing that could get you killed. Because if Charm wore off when he was standing right next to me, he would have ruined my life. Where'd that Yeti go? Huh. Apparently my spell didn't go off. Sick my pet on that one. Go pull the Yeti. Oh well, like I said, as long as you got Spirit of Wolf, you've got some wiggle room. Which is good. Naturally, I've been using Rune 4 instead of my cheapo Rune 3, trying to keep myself as shielded as I can from the inevitable break that sends this buffed up level 40 something mob, 44 mob coming charging after me. I mean, I can barely pull quick enough when both pets are on the target. Good problem, I guess. A lot of this stuff is green to me, but since Charm is 2 levels lower than I am, I figured most of the time it'll be worth it to pull the greens anyways. They all still give XP, even if they get myself killed here. Well, that's why I had Rune 4, I guess. My pet needs to be healed up anyway. Hopefully his, no, his can't really handle it either. I keep targeting my pet. Maybe I can blur it before it gets to me. No such luck. Dazzle isn't great for blurring things, apparently, because I basically need to use Memblur on stuff every time I dazzle it, but it's not too bad. Damn it, this guy really hates me. And this guy does not want to blur. At least my pet's healing up, so I'll charm him again when he's coming out of this dazzle and use him to get rid of that guy that I rooted. I need to get a rune back up. Like I said, this is much faster paced than I care for. For trying to type. Fizzles on Rune are the worst. I think my pet might have lost his haste. I'm going to hit him with an augmentation for now to try and conserve some mana. Fighting other ravishing drolvargs isn't ideal, because they do have a boatload of hit points. Hey, what the hell? Was that a... I don't know if that was a necro spell, or if that's what Uno the Guru proc looks like on P99. I've honestly never seen it. Looks like I may have just been trained. Thanks a lot, asshole. Like I said, I would comment more, but I feel a bit too busy. I forget that I need to say anything that I'm recording. I'll give it a little bit more. This is pretty much the gist of what we've been doing the whole time, you know, with this, trying to juggle our nasty pets and keep up with the bulls without running ourselves out of mana. Or getting killed, you know. Oops, I forgot I wasn't supposed to be rooting. Clarity 1 is not quite enough to keep me up to snuff. Even if all I'm doing is running around and recharming and buffing my pet myself and pulling with little Tashan spells, you know. But, still pretty nice XP. I'll call it good for the recording here. I'll just keep doing this. I don't know how much longer I'll be here. I'm not going to be able to stomach this pace of play for more than... I probably won't even hit 50, honestly. I've been at it for an hour and a half, and, you know, much more than this will drive me nuts because it's so fast and kind of frantic and getting late at night, so... But anyways, figured I'd make the video. It's an interesting little... oh, great of bards out here. Interesting little difference from the solo dungeons that I've been doing, and although I haven't actually been in a dungeon much lately. Uh-oh. Yeah, just as I'm standing next to the pecker. Nice little mini drolvarg now that he's had boon on. I forgot I was supposed to turn the video off. Anyway, so long.